Hi everybody, this is the organizational theory video for writing effective conference proposals. A few of you have asked me to kind of restate this one, re-expand on this, so I wanted to walk you through this. We didn't film this, we really just kind of talked about it, but I figure it would be better if you had one that's filmed, that way you can go back and revisit this. Please remember what I said in class when we're talking about this stuff. Really, you know, I'm giving this presentation that has some due dates that were there from the spring. Having this class in the summer, not necessarily the best of fits, but that's okay. I can still go over what was expected for the conferences, and we can prepare for future years, and I think that's a smart move. You know, I think it's important to stress that you never know what's going to happen in your occupation or profession. You are going to have a degree from an institution that will give you power, and I keep saying that, and you just have to trust me on this. The reputation that Oklahoma State has outside of Oklahoma is very powerful and very strong. So you need to diversify your portfolio as best as you can, and that's why I want you to present it at least one conference, and that would be my goal. It's too late to require that, but at least let's show that you can write a proposal for a conference. So most of you think and feel you will spend all of your time in administration, but there are trajectories with this degree you might not know exist. Oklahoma State's reputation really was in teacher education, and it still is. This is one of the leading institutions in the country in teacher education, meaning that that does mean something to all of you. You're at a place that values it, and it looks upon it as something that's pretty important. Excuse me for a second, I'm just zooming in and out so you guys can see the words a slightly bit better. I think that should be good. It's a convenient place to get a degree, I get that, but other people don't have this opportunity that you have to be here. Trust me, if you know, I'm from Pittsburgh, my options basically were, I had two options to get a doctorate and actually get a PhD. That's it, like, and within you know, 100 miles of me. I went to Pitt, which had a great program for school administration. But my other option was Duquesne. If I went to Duquesne, I had to do either religion or social justice. That was it. So really, Pitt was the only option that I had. So I went to Pitt. Pitt's a good school. Oklahoma State's an even better school. And you got to keep that in mind, and you got to know that. You just got to utilize the school for what it is, and that's what I hope you do. My goal was to become a business manager in a school district. That's what, if you would have asked me what I would have been doing at 34 years old, I would have been a school business manager. But in Pennsylvania, because of our union relationships, you need to be a building level administrator and transition based on that. I knew more about public school finance probably than most principals in the state do, and I have no problem saying that. I still know more about public school finance than most principals do, and most of them have better expertise on curriculum, instruction. The finance was my background, but in order to get to that position, most of them are building level administrators because it's a trajectory in Pennsylvania. So I wasn't going to be able to do the job that I wanted. So it wasn't worth the wait time, so I jumped when I had the opportunity to jump. So I had two major projects when I started my doc program. I wrote a framework for our country, for our county, in typing and computer application skills in elementary schools. I still live off of this. I can present at a conference, I can talk about why we do typing. In third grade, I can go over methodology in typing. I can go over why we have smaller keyboards, why we have adaptive and assistive technology. It's something that I did not out of choice. I did because, unfortunately, I had a K-12 certification, and they had to bump somebody in union environment, lowest one on the totem pole. I was the one going down the elementary school, so it was what it was. And I also wrote the state standards in Pennsylvania for teaching laws of business course, and that's still being used. It kind of failed. I mean, we now, most of the time in Pennsylvania, law is done in the social studies department, but I did write them and I did contribute to them with the Pennsylvania Business Education Association. So I went into the program having done two things, and I tried to build off of that and transition it into something else. So I used that to get me elsewhere. So I had a fellowship with RAND that I wouldn't have gotten had I not accomplished something else. You have an in so many circles right now if you're willing to leave Oklahoma. getting a degree here and being trajected outside of Oklahoma, you're very well positioned, and I can't say that to you enough. If you can present at conferences and meet the right people and network, it's going to help you more than anything else. So this is the lifeblood of academics. If you are participating in conference presentations, you promote your research, but you also go to other sessions that can give you sources for work. And once again, I also think that's equally important as well. Excuse me 1 second, my boss is texting me. All right, so what's hot right now? Some of you are doing hot topics in education, and mind you, this is one, some of these videos I can probably keep online for 4 or 5 years. This is one of them. I'm gonna have to change them every week and every year in education. But right now, obviously, not just in Oklahoma, I know this is everywhere, teacher evaluation is big. Grit is a big thing, social justice is a big thing. The comp building, the 8 or 9, and as we said in class, you guys call those academy buildings. I'm used to them being called comprehensive building, and it's an 8 or a 9, and then the notion of the 5-6 building, or in Oklahoma we have the 4-5 building. So that's kind of what's hot right now, and I would also argue transgender issues as well. So I'm going to go over some different types of conferences that you can present in for educational leadership. My advice for you is if you can find a few of these that can actually help you, you can advance your interest and you can get experience. And if you hate this stuff, you hate this stuff. I don't care. I mean, honestly, like I think it's worth it for you to try more than anything else and go to a conference. But if you go to a conference that's not a good fit for you, that can be a problem. If you can do 3 to 4 different conferences, you can be close to making tenure. 5 to 6 can almost help you guarantee tenure if you go into academics. So there are 13 organizations that do leadership proposals. I'm going to talk about each one of them. And I want to inspire you to write a proposal for one of these conferences in the next year. In this class, we're just laying them out, but I want to help you kind of do it. If you're interested, I will help you, I will work with you, I will present with you. Remember, we need to get published as well as tenure track faculty, so it helps us advance and it helps everything as well. So here are the 13 organizations. I'm actually going to stop the tape now because that was the introduction, and then I'm going to take some time. I'm going to talk about each of the organizations. So this is part 1 of the conference presentations.